Welcome back, everyone, to the Preserve Championships, part of the Disc Golf Pro Tour. We are out at the Airborn Preserve Disc Golf property at the Black Bear course in Clearwater, Minnesota. This is round 2, back 9 of the FPO division. I'm Sarah Hokom here with Juliana Korver.
Kristin maintains her lead, playing very well today through the front 9. Hailey and Lydia 2 under for the day so far. This is hole number 10, 269 feet, par 3. This plays as if it were an island because the wall is out of bounds and the cart path and to the right is out of bounds as well.
Kristin with a grace.
There's a significant tailwind on this shot.
And it just drops her disc. Doesn't give it a chance much to fade, leaving her outside the circle. Although she's already made 2 putts outside the circle today. Lydia with her M model OS. Not quite OS enough, but inside the circle for a putt.
What a great line.
That looks like Hailey's Luna. So, putter. It plays more like 280, 290 up that hill. I'm throwing a Cosmic Trace. And I thought I was going to drop it like the rest of them, but it faded. So I'm a little right, but with a very makeable putt. You can see the flags are just ripping. Kristin with a great make.
No problem. Her putt looks so good today.
I think it always looks that good. Although she does sometimes have days where she chains out a little more than average. Yesterday, her stats for putting were not good because she only had 5 circle 1X putts and she missed 2 of them. So that always hurts the stats. Lydia with a chain out. Man, the wind, it was really hard to read. It would be in my face, and then it'd be a crosswind.
Well, you can see and you can hear those flags behind the basket whipping.
And Lydia to clean up her par.
Oh, no.
Just a little stunted on her follow-through. Hailey with the easy birdie.
Hole 11, 525 feet, par 4. Though it looks like you need to throw this one as far as possible, a conservative drive that stays in the open will still allow the field to reach the basket in 2. I'd like to thank Swarm Digital Marketing for bringing us this digital footage, or this drone footage today.
Kristin up first with a grace. And gracing us with a gorgeous line.
That is huge.
So a little bit of a tailwind here as well. You expect it to drop and fade a little bit differently, but offering that little extra distance.
Also, extremely good drive.
Great shot with her Zeus. I'm throwing a trace.
Nice.
And Lydia with a D2. Really nice turn. right to the middle. And then she's throwing, you can see those three are just right there together. I mean, they're throwing like 400 feet. It's amazing. This is a pyro, which I call the dump master, because it just, you throw it hard and it just dumps, no matter, right when it gets wet, right when it loses speed. Lydia with a P3. Leaves it short, and that is not a fun putt on this elevated basket. Kristin leaves it out a little bit right.
This played as the easiest hole of the day.
And Hailey popping her zone right under the basket. This is Lydia's birdie putt from C2. She peers the bush. Solid putt from Kristin. She has only missed one putt inside the circle today.
And I'd argue she didn't really miss that one. It was a little low and it kind of scooped in and out.
Yeah, it was kind of a splash out. She just kind of dunks it.
Hole 12, 330 feet, par 3. This hole is a little bit more obstructed than some of the other fairways. It's a little bit of a low ceiling. The right side has rough to contend with, and it does drop off about 15 feet behind the basket.
And the wind out here, again, it was swirling. We were getting a crosswind combined with a headwind, depending on what second you were throwing. So Kristin with her verdict, it pops it up straight, and she hits that tree in C2. But short grass, she's been good for a couple C2 makes already this round. Hailey also.
I liked the height of that. It was just a tiny bit to the right of the fairway.
And that, I think it's that wind that's pushing everybody over there. And I'm very conflicted on what to throw here. This is a vanish. I like the turn, but then it trickles into the rough. And it is really rough right there. Not only the spindly trees, but there's a bunch of vines that don't even allow you to go through the spindly trees. Lydia with an H2 V2. Again, pushing right.
Yeah, I think you're right. All of the backhand shots were pushed to the right side.
Lydia with her putter on a recovery shot. Really nice. Don't see her throw a lot of sidearms, but man, she executed that really well. Hailey making a run from way back. Leaves her a little putt back, but nothing out of her range of comfort. And Kristin from C2 for the birdie. Kind of lays it up.
Yeah, she wasn't trying for that one, I don't believe.
And I can't go right at the basket because of all those vines. So I'm having to throw an Annie through a little gap.
Oh. All the way around the basket. Way to hit that gap.
Yeah, that's what I was concerned about right there. And Hailey to clean up the par in a ripping crosswind.
Oh, man.
So everybody kind of going with the par here. No birdies on our card. However, there were a few on some other cards. Rebecca Cox. And yourself, Juliana Korver, got the birdie on the day.
Hole 13, 329 feet, par 3. Players shoot through this gap with something that turns from left to right. A little turn is necessary in order to find yourself in circle 1. You don't want to turn it too much. You'll find yourself in the foliage by circle 1.
Unless you throw a sidearm, and then you don't have to turn it. But you have to have a 330 hyzer power shot.
That sounds difficult.
Which I don't have that. But Kristin might. I'm pretty sure Kristin's got this with her grace. But the wind was really crazy. It was like right to left. So it's kind of, you can see it's pushing the disc left. And it leaves her outside circle 1, almost pin high. So I think without that crosswind, I think she would have been really close. So Hailey throws her Zeus, and she literally skips off the top of that stump that is like 30 feet off. And by the way, this tee pad is not wood. It is concrete that is like stamped and dyed. It's really beautiful. I was trying to throw this a little flatter, so I left myself off to the right in the rough. Lydia with H2V2. I really like that line. But again, that crosswind is pushing everything left, leaving long putts for everyone.
Yeah, hole was made significantly harder with that wind. It's not an easy line to hit anyway.
Yeah, it's got a gap, it's got a ceiling, and apparently it has a floor as well with that stump. Slightly uphill. And I got a bunch of tree branches in my face and an Anheuser look.
Good shot from that rather awkward.
Yeah, it was very awkward. Lydia just laying up for par. And Kristin looking to cash in on her third C2 putt of the round.
So smooth. Just beautiful.
I look at her face. She's just like, meh. Like she's not impressed. I think it must be the Estonian in her. I don't know. Beautiful spin off the wrist. Full extension. Everyone else is really impressed, and she is just like, this is what I do. I'm going to have to go back and look at the footage of 17, that eagle putt she made, see if she actually smiled. Not that I'm saying she should smile. Like, she can do what she wants, and if that's the way she wants to play, that's great, because she's obviously making it work really well.
Yeah, as we can see, she is 5 under so far for today, so she's on par to have another spectacular round. Hailey is doing well. Paige is moving up a little bit with a 4 under so far. This is hole 14. It is 660 feet. It is a par 4. There's a little more danger off the tee on this one, even though it looks wide open. The left cart path and beyond is OB, and the way that we have to throw this hole, if you're throwing a backhand shot, it very often will hyzer out towards that OB line. The basket is a little bit raised from the rest of the fairway, and it drops significantly behind the basket.
It is an intimidating putt up there.
Sure is.
Kristin lining up the grace. Looks like it turns a little too much. But she sneaks through and just tickles a few leaves on her way to the middle of the fairway.
With a lot of distance, too.
Hailey following her line.
Also very nice.
But you can see well short of Kristin's line. And Hailey can throw that far, certainly. I'm throwing a photon. There's a headwind. I am not messing with that left side OB. It it is very penalizing if I turn that over too much. So I am playing a very conservative line. Lydia going with an H2 V2.
Also another nice shot.
And right in line with Hailey's drive. With about 280 to the pin from there.
I like how you kept that low. Not a lot of room for danger there.
Yeah, and we had yet another kind of a headwind, maybe crosswind. It's still swirling. Lydia going with her MX3. So that's kind of a hybrid mid to fairway style driver, and puts it pin high. Hailey with a zone. Leaves it short. That's an intimidating putt, well outside circle 1. And she has yet to make a circle 2 putt this round. Kristin with a harp. Leaves it outright. And that is not the shot she was looking to make. But she still has a look for birdie.
And she's actually putting uphill instead of putting with nothing behind her.
I don't want any part of that basket. Hailey, however, not much for layups.
Oh, wow.
She just perfect speed, makes her first C2 of the day. She did make one yesterday as well. She's like literally super death putt. Like, if you miss it in any way, it's likely rolling down the hill. Lydia with a side hill death putt from, again, the edge of the circle. Just saw Hailey cash in, and she wants a piece of that too. It's just really great putts. And Kristin also with a birdie look from a similar distance. Misses, but stays up top with an easy tap in for par.
She doesn't miss by much, just a tiny bit low.
But she's got quite a cushion. 7 strokes over Hailey at this point. 4 more to play today. And we're not sure whether this is going to be our final round or not at this point.
Hole 15, 738 feet, par 4. Off the tee, players need to both throw over the mound and under the tree canopy. With a good drive, the pin is in reach on your second shot. Once players get closer to the green, there is one guardian tree that seems to come into play more often than it should. The green slopes upward, and the green is slightly elevated due to that slope.
This one's a little out of range for most of the players, but Hailey and Kristin did get this one yesterday, along with only two other players. So Hailey going Zeus.
We're throwing into a pretty strong headwind.
If you're at the right second, it's a headwind. It's still like, again, it's like it's a really slow moving tornado running through the course. Lydia yanks it a bit with her D2 and is on the left side, well short of her intended position. Kristin with a grace. Again, it's going to get pushed left quite a bit. So it's a headwind, but also right to left. I'm throwing my watermelon vanish And I'm looking for that to turn quite a bit. I'm expecting that right to left wind to turn it, but it does not. So I'm over here on the ditch area with difficult footing.
Lydia with a long way to go yet.
Going to the D2 and kind of turns it over. So that headwind coming into play. I'm on a side hill. Throwing a trace.
Really nice from that footing especially. This plate is the third most difficult hole for the day.
Hailey with a Zeus. Getting it all the way up to the pin and just at the edge or just outside the circle. Kristin going with the Rive, so just a more stable driver than she's been throwing most of the round due to this headwind. She gets it up there for a putt. Lydia in her recovery mode in her third shot. Kind of releases it high left, leaving her well outside of circle one for her par. This is a reactor. And also I kind of leave it out a little bit. Out to the right. Lydia's par putt. That's a good looking putt.
Yeah, definitely. Very smooth. Just need a little bit more power.
And Hailey for her second C2 look in a row. Oh. She's got it dialed.
She gets a really nice height.
I love her little braids too. She's got these like really cute little curlies at the bottom of them. It like looks like she used a curling iron, but I'm pretty sure it's natural. I've got a bit of a ceiling here, and I'm kind of worried that I'm going to hit the branches, but I don't think I did. I've kind of made an adjustment to my putt to decrease the loft. I was happy to get that par. Kristin for birdie. Wow, that is only her second C1X miss of the day. Otherwise, she's been putting very, very well. Lydia to tap in for bogey.
Hole 16, 374 feet, par 3. This will be a tough birdie for much of the field. The basket is on an elevated green, which makes the approach a little bit more interesting as the ground falls away behind the pin. There are a few trees to avoid near the pin. The distance is just out of reach for much of the field.
Hailey up first with a Zeus. Doesn't like it. She did get this birdie yesterday, but I don't think it was with that kind of a shot. But she's far enough that Bush may be out of play for her approach. Kristin clubbing up to the Rive again. Instead of the Grace that I think she would normally throw here, we have a significant headwind. And it's a little cross as well, which makes the decision-making process difficult. I'm throwing a trace.
Oh, is that coming back?
Thankfully, it's trusty. The trusty trace. It's mostly coming back, but I was actually trying to just throw it to the right side to make my approach a sidearm, which I like more than throwing a backhand, which I will have to throw a backhand from that lie. Lydia with a D2. Gets a lot of distance. Pin high, but well right. I should say I get to throw a backhand here. I'm working on that language. This is an envy. And I throw it a little far. But still got a putt for par. And a tailwind uphill. I like those much better than the opposite. Hailey with a zone. Nice little touchy shot. Puts it right by the pin. Lydia for her approach. Also a nice short putt. And Kristin for birdie from circle 2.
Not going for that one.
She doesn't need it. That backside could be difficult if she actually ran the putt. And for par.
Nice.
Really happy to make that putt. And Lydia for par as well.
This played as the 5th easiest hole of the day. I'm sorry.
5th most difficult.
Most difficult hole of the day.
Yeah, we had
that surprises me.
Well, we had no birdies today. I'm assuming the wind had a lot to do with that. And honestly, yesterday, only Hailey and Cat Merch got it. So it's a little out of range. I'd like to see maybe them make a change on this one.
Hole 17. This is a little straight, low ceiling tunnel shot. There is water within circle 1, but it shouldn't come into play. The most dangerous feature of this hole is perhaps the raised basket out in the open for this windy day.
This was surprisingly difficult yesterday. Only 10% birdied it as one of the shortest holes on the course, or the shortest hole on the course.
Oh, going too high on that shot.
Kristin with a verdict. And she's a little confused, I think, about why she keeps missing that line. I'm throwing an Eclipse Reactor, Hailey King's signature disc.
Well, I liked the line through the gap, though that's a little bit longer putt than you would like, I'm sure.
You're correct. Lydia with a PA3. Ooh, and she gets kind of a bad kick.
That's a nice looking approach.
So Lydia is reserved to a putter tomahawk roller thingy. PA1, I believe. And she doesn't really get out of there. She's kind of now on the front side. But look at that lie she had. I mean, there is nothing. Kristin pitching up her heart, but leaves a little meat on the bone. Lydia with a PA3.
Really nice sidearm by Lydia.
That's the second one we've seen in this back nine. Got a tailwind, which I like, but it does drop the putt.
Oh, great birdie.
I missed a shorter putt from that same angle yesterday, so I was really happy to get that one. Kristin for par. Ooh, sneaking it in there. That wind was trying to push it. And Hailey and Lydia with some tap-ins. Lydia tapping in for bogey, unfortunately. So still this hole, something about it, only 13% birdie. You know, I mean, we're getting, like 50% birdie on a couple of the par fours and 30%. It's kind of the, the relatively easy birdie situation. So maybe tomorrow we'll see.
Hole 18, 942 feet, par 5. Players need to decide how aggressive they want to be on their tee shot. The conservative play is to throw more to the left, so less distance is required to clear the water. Shots thrown straight in line with the pin need to clear about 410 feet to be safe from the water. The longest throwers who take the more daring line on the first water carry may need to decide if they're going to lay up or even try to go over the second water carry. With the wind today, I don't think anybody was going over the second water on their second shot.
Yeah, it was, for me, because I'm throwing so far left, it's a headwind, but for most of the field, it's going to be a left to right crosswind. Cross headwind. I'm throwing a trace, really just trying to, honestly, just pitch it over to that left side. I have thrown in the water here off the tee, and it is really hard to recover from that. Hailey with a Zeus. Getting some big distance.
Great position.
Kristin again clubbing up to the rive to deal with this headwind. She's looking for it to flip up a little more, I think. But there's no reason for her to really take any risks at this point. Lydia with a D2 puts a nice turn on it. Just safe.
Great shot.
She bit off a lot. You can see she's even with Hailey. Throwing another trace. Just looking to put it just short of the sand trap so I have footing. Kristin going rive again. And hoping to stay out of that sand trap, which severely inhibits the footing. And
Right on the edge.
Lydia going MX3, so she's disking down to try to throw a control shot to the edge of this sand trap, but it trickles in. That is such a tough way to, she's not going to have much of a run up. This is Hailey's Onyx.
Also pulling it wide, trying to stay away from the sand.
And there's a pretty heavy headwind here. I'm really debating about what to do. And I kind of put a little nose up, but it does land safe. Even though it doesn't look like it right there. There's plenty of land over there. But I'm still almost 200 feet away from the pin. So Lydia is got 1 foot on the grass and then 1 foot in the sand.
What a tough lie.
Really not ideal. She's throwing a D2. You can see didn't get any turn on it, and she goes right in the drink. So she'll have to take her lie from the far side of the water. Hailey throwing a Zeus, though, puts a huge turn on it and is ace running the basket. Wow. Brian, her caddy, loves it. Kristin from a really good position, throwing her fortress.
Great control.
Lydia with the recovery shot that unfortunately is 1 foot too low and ends up in the sand trap again. This is my Hailey King reactor.
That's a beautiful shot.
Now Lydia for bogey. Not the way she wanted to finish a really good round. This is Hailey's birdie putt. And Kristin with this birdie putt as well. She was she did get this yesterday, and she was the only one to get the birdie today in this crazy wind.
Fantastic round for Kristin.
So even she won a 7 down yesterday, and then she follows it up with a 6 down. She is full steam ahead, giving her a huge lead over Hailey. 7 strokes going into the final round. So looking at the scorecard, Kristin really only had the 2 bogeys, and one of those I even consider just a par, the whole 5. Really clean round. Her and Hailey shooting great today.
Sarah, you had a great back 9 as well.
Yeah, it was kind of fun getting some putts to fall at the end. Paige Pierce jumping up into the lead card with the -3 on the day, and Jessica and Katrina also under par on that chase card. Joined by Rebecca and Lydia. So we got a battle for second, really, at this point, unless some really weird stuff happens, which I doubt with Kristin. So thanks for joining us. Go ahead and give this a like and subscribe to GK Pro. And we have been told that we will very likely be playing the 3rd round because the air quality has improved.